Poets, philosophers and scientists have all struggled to define love. Is it all about hormones and pheromones? Is it attachment built over time? Or is it something fundamentally more spiritual than that? But when words fail to express our feelings, people throughout history have turned to gifts. Whether given as part of a huge public romantic gesture or in the quiet intimacy of a private moment, romantic gifts are a long-standing staple of romantic expression. So The Conversation, which is a sort of online newspaper where all of the articles are written by academic experts, recently got in touch to ask me to write an article about how people in the past would have shown their love through jewellery and fashion. And if the article is out by the time I post this video, then I'll pop a link in the description. So I thought that this was an excellent excuse to also make a video exploring some of the ways in which fashion accessories from the past have been gifted and worn as a token of love. Now, in 2024, Valentine's gift giving is a commercial goldmine for retailers. In Britain, eager lovers spend an average of £22 on their significant other. These days, popular choices for a romantic gift might include an evening out, a heart-shaped box of chocolates, or a classic bunch of red roses, which, when you think about it, are all quite ephemeral things. I know that a box of chocolates wouldn't last long if I got my hands on it. But actually, research shows that if you really want to impress your lover, then jewellery and fashion accessories are the best options. It's estimated that $6.5 billion will be spent on Valentine's Day bling in the US in 2024, while a further $3 billion will be splashed out on clothing, such as lingerie. Now, this commercialisation of love might seem like a very modern phenomenon of our capitalist age, but jewellery and fashion accessories have been popular tokens of love for centuries. Today, corsets are associated with titillating lingerie, but the corset's predecessors, known as bodies or stays, were just a functional part of everyday dress for the Stuarts and Georgians, but they still could contain romantic features. If you want to know more actually about corsets and bodies and stays and the differences between them, then my fellow academic historian turned YouTuber Sarah Bendel has recently made a video about all of the key differences, and I'll link it up here. But before the 19th century, lots of bodies and stays contained a busk. Now the busk was a piece of wood, which was a long strip, which was slipped inside a channel at the front of the stays. Its practical purpose was to keep the front of the garment straight, but people also found more intimate and romantic uses for them. Engraved with love poems, depictions of hearts, and sometimes even verses euphemistically referring to sex, these busks were often given as romantic gifts. Positioned between the breasts, many of the engraved rhymes also expressed jealousy for the busk, which got to intimately rest between the recipient's breasts. One 17th century French busk read, quote, "He enjoys sweet sighs, this lover, who would very much like to take my place." It's a bit saucy, isn't it? But Georgian lovers did not always conceal their love tokens in their underwear. Eye miniatures, so literally miniature portraits depicting just the eye, and also known as lover's eyes, were used to decorate rings, brooches or pendants. These were gifted between lovers as a wearable symbol of their love. Now, as Shakespeare proclaimed, the eyes are the window to the soul, and the lover's eye was considered an incredibly intimate form of portrait. But it also made a good game. It was also very secretive and caused tantalising gossip and there was so much speculation at the Georgian court over who was wearing whose lover's eye. Another really popular way of keeping a secret lover close to the heart was the locket. Early lockets often expressed religious devotion and familial connection rather than romantic love. Queen Elizabeth I, for example, wore a locket ring containing portraits of herself and her mother, Anne Boleyn, although some people argue that it's actually her stepmother, Catherine Parr, but the idea is the same. With the rise of mass manufacture in the 19th century, lockets became a cheaply available and really widespread love token for the masses. The new technology of photography also meant that placing a picture of your loved one inside the locket didn't require expensive commissioning of a miniature portrait painter. The idea of cutting a lock of your lover's hair and wearing it in a locket close to your heart was historically widespread, but the Victorians took this trend even further. Hair jewellery, so that's ornaments made from strands of human hair, was incredibly popular in 19th century Britain. Now, a lot of people might find this idea really icky. I actually think it's quite lovely. And I do like telling people the story of how I was in the archives looking through some letters one day, only to unfold one letter and find it filled with a dozen locks of 18th century children's hair. But anyway, while there were also commercial hair jewellery makers, some women crafted rings and bracelets and watch chains, like this one, out of their lover's hair at home. Elegant Arts for Ladies, a book containing instructions for crafts that women might try at home, was published in 1856 and even contains instructions for making earrings out of your lover's hair. Professional hairwork services came under increasing suspicion in the 19th century. Customers sent in the hair of their lover or family member, expecting it to be crafted into a beautiful keepsake. But with increasing commercial demands, some manufacturers turned to mass-producing items, and the item returned might be fraudulently made from a stranger's hair. Perhaps the most timeless of all wearable tokens of love is the Posey Ring. These simple gold bands engraved with a romantic inscription inside were consistently popular from the medieval period. Their name comes from the French poésie, referring to the words engraved inside. The inscriptions in these rings were often taken from published compendiums of sayings, such as The Mysteries of Love or the Arts of Wooing, published in 1658, or Love's Garland or Posies for Rings, Handkerchiefs and Gloves, and Such Pretty Tokens that Lovers Send Their Loves, from 1674. Sometimes these inscriptions were touching and romantic, but often they also had quite religious overtones, such as a 17th century example engraved with "Fear God and love me." Romantic bling remains a timeless choice of romantic gift, and the Posey ring is still alive and well in the modern wedding band. So if you celebrate Valentine's, Galentine's, or any other love-related holiday, maybe think about taking inspiration from history to express your feelings. Let me know in the comments your best and worst romantic gifts and how you would react to receiving some hairwork jewellery.